AM 95.7 FM. We welcome you to our Intercounty Tuesday. And just strutting in the door
It's me.
was Heather. I mean, literally just strutting in the
Yeah.
door. It
Perfect timing, huh?
doesn't usually happen that way. But
Not
anyway,
usually.
well, it's good to see you. I know it's going to be a busy day for you, and I guess we'll go with your schedule. I guess we don't really have a choice.
How kind.
Yeah, well, I try and be that way. Anyway, good to have you here.
Yeah, good to be here.
Co-op month. Yay! October's
know.
co-op month, and you're getting ready for another freebie today.
We are. Yeah, we've got 2 down. So last week we took care of our Rolla members and our Mountain Grove members. We served more at both locations than we have in the past, which is
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, the weather's been just really beautiful. We served almost 900 in Rolla and right around 800 in Mountain Grove, which was quite a jump from last year. So today's licking. So if you're listening and you're going to be in the licking area around lunchtime, we will serve you lunch. We'd love to spend some time with you. We've got
11 to 1.
11 to 1. Yep. We'll have sack lunches for everybody. We've got an electric credit drawing that we'll draw for at the end of the day.
You can win one at every location.
You could. I mean, technically you could. If you did, you might want to go like
To the boat.
something. That's
Bet on the Super Bowl champion now.
something, yeah. But yeah, come and join us 11 to 1 today in Licking. And then next week we're going to hit St. James. Yes, St. James next Tuesday and Summersville next Thursday.
All I know is we're last.
Yeah, because we wrap up then the following week with Roby and Salem, Tuesday, Thursday.
The best is last.
I know. See, we did that last year and you guys just loved it so much.
We did.
It's actually nice to save Salem for last just because where we're at, we have the option to move inside. That way, if the weather's not great, same with Roby. We're over there at the Citizen Center. So putting you guys, the two of you, late in the month, just not knowing what the weather's going to be like. That way, if members want to hang out and eat with us, we can set up tables inside
Right.
and not outside.
But the way the weather's been lately, it's still summer.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
It's October, but
I know.
yeah,
It doesn't feel that way, but it is supposed to cool down a little bit.
it is. Yeah,
But we haven't seen any leaves change really at all.
yeah,
Here
they're
we are.
falling.
And we're mid-October.
Yeah, that's
This is-
crazy.
Yeah.
Middle of October.
It's a little bit strange. Definitely a little bit strange. But anyway, good to have you here.
Yeah,
Glad
good
to
to be
see
here.
that you made it safely. I always get concerned. I always know that, first off, on a day like today, you're looking right in the sun trying to get here.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
yeah,
It was
that's-
bright this morning and foggy, kind of
Yeah.
foggy on the
And
way
some
over.
of the dips over that, yeah. Of course, you're driving 32, that nice straight highway.
Oh yeah. Perfect road.
Easy to get here. Easy. You always take the background, go through Montauk, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just a little curvier.
Yeah. I wouldn't have made it on time. That's for sure.
No, you won't. But it's another route in case you get bored with that one.
That is
There's
true.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, first off, again, it is Co-op Month. We want to remind everybody about that. And if you really aren't familiar with how co-ops work, it might be a good time for you just to really kind of kick back or maybe pick up the rural Missouri and read a little bit about co-ops. I learned a few new things. I kind of scanned through the article. I said, either I knew that and forgot it or I just never knew it.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
So it's worth the read. I would definitely tell you that.
Good. Yeah. So co-ops, I think a lot of times people, especially some of our younger members that don't necessarily remember the co-op being around for a long time.
Moons ago.
Yeah, we've got members that are young members, and we're the power company to them. And we want our members to know you're more than just a consumer. You're not just a customer of a power company. You're a member of an electric co-op, and that means you own the co-op. You get a say in how we do things and who represents you and serves on the board. And when we make more than what we need to operate, that's allocated to you, and we don't pay it back right away, but when we do, we go back to what was allocated to you for that year, and then that portion of our profits that year, that those go to you, the member. So co-op month's just a time to kind of celebrate those differences, that we're not just a power company and we don't just collect your electric bill.
Right. But I
We
mean,
wanna
there's a
do more than
reason
that.
why the co-op was organized.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that because of the difference in years now. You're almost, you're going back a long time.
Yeah.
Why was a co-op organized? Why was it a company that came in, an electric company, and did
Right.
it? Basically, just to simplify it, you had to have the people who wanted the electric, who wanted the services, being part of the co-op to make it happen.
Right. And it's not that the people here in our rural areas didn't want power. They
did.
absolutely wanted power, but it wasn't profitable for the bigger companies to come in. They looked at the density and they're like, no way.
Not going to happen.
We'd have to build this many miles to pick up these few customers. There's no profit in that. So they wouldn't even bring the power out to the rural areas.
Right.
And that is when co-ops were formed, and the local residents, they got together and they said, hey, if they're not going to bring it to us, let's build it ourselves. And how can we pool our resources and pool our money and do this? And that's kind of how co-ops were formed. And it's pretty amazing.
It's
Yeah.
pretty impressive to think about. You, as a member, have created the co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Now, today's members who are just becoming members did not create the co-op, but you're just as vital to the co-op
Right, they get to be
as
part
those
of it.
original members.
Yeah. And interesting fact, so next year's our 90th year. We'll be celebrating our 90th year at our annual meeting, kind of a big one, yeah. But 90 years ago when the co-op was first formed and they decided on this cooperative structure, they said, okay, we're going to have a membership fee, $5 membership fee. And it was that way back in 1936, and today it is still a $5 membership
It's
fee.
a killer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Just that something just as minor as that.
Well,
has
just to
stayed
be a
the
member
same.
of the co-op, though, you shouldn't have to finance your house to be.
No.
It's a great thing because without this co-op coming and doing what they did, I mean, all the co-ops, I should just say, in this one with Intercounty, with Black River, all of them, people in rural areas would have been so far behind.
Yeah, and they
When-
were for a long time.
Well, they
still
were,
even.
I know, but it was, and even with the phone lines when they came out, remember party lines and people that, had to share because they couldn't get lines to everybody's house. And there were issues in the time. Obviously, topography is one of the big issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we grow the best rocks. Right?
We do.
We really do. We got some fantastic rocks that just don't make it easy to drill all the time. I mean, there's
Yeah.
many times it's not that big a deal, and I've seen the inter-county drill truck just nothing to it. But then I seen them hit some rocks, and whoa!
It takes a little bit longer to get the pole set.
You hear it, you smell it, it's all
Yeah.
there. But getting back to the bottom line is that without that little $5 membership fee back in the day, which was not as cheap as it sounds today,
Right.
that was a nice little piece of change
Absolutely,
out
it
of somebody's
was.
pocket.
Yeah.
But you got the opportunity to get educated in electricity, and then Intercounty has gone into many other ventures and helped people doing so many other things that if you were not a member, you kind of had to slap yourself silly and say, for $5, I could have been a part of this.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the same today. You can still be a part of all this that we're talking about and get that free lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Free lunch. It's
Yeah.
well worth.
Lunch and
that-
enter the drawing.
And I
and
guarantee what you're going to get is going to cost you more than $5 if you want to go somewhere else.
you can't hardly buy lunch for $5.
No, you can't. And if you're a business, you can even have it delivered to you.
Yeah, so that's something that we started a few years ago. We deliver to the local businesses in whatever area that we're in. So we've heard that it's very much appreciated. I hope that it is. So yeah, it's something the different days that we have Member Appreciation Days scheduled, the crews in that area help us with deliveries. They're familiar with the area. They're familiar with the businesses. It makes a lot of sense to have them help us out that day and get those deliveries and visit with people too, because they're the
gosh.
familiar faces in the area. And if members have questions or concerns, it's nice to talk to a familiar face. So we'll have them all around the office
You
today.
bet. And it's a lot of fun. And again, if you have any questions if they stop by and see it, the person you're talking to may not know the answer, but they will definitely get it to the person who does.
That's
and they
right.
can get back
Yep.
to you. So feel free to ask them a question or two if you have it. And they're more than happy to find out the answer if they don't know it themselves. Again, when they get back to the office, they will be in touch with somebody who will get back in touch with you. One thing I want to talk about today, and we usually finish up our show with it, but I think because of its importance, we're nearing 20,000 Roundup members.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. I remember we were struggling to get 3,000.
We struggled. We were on either side of 3,000 every month.
Yeah. But 20,000 people, and how important that is for some people. I believe that it was in rural Missouri, but I believe it was $6,900 that was given out last month.
Right.
I believe that's the correct amount.
That sounds
Correct me if
about
I'm
right.
wrong, though, but it was somewhere around there. $6,900 went to people who needed help.
Right.
Just one time, but
Right.
they needed help. Now, it didn't go to all one person, but it did go to a number of different people who needed just a little boost to
Right.
get them through. And that's what Roundup really is. But without all the members, Roundup's not possible.
Yeah, because it's 100% funded by our members who round their bill up. And what you or I what we
Chump
could
change.
do, what we could do with 50 cents, there's not a whole lot we could do with a couple
change.
quarters.
Come on, girls, just say it. Chump
Yeah,
change.
when you put it together with 20,000 other people, that's a chunk of change.
That's
it
a
goes
chunk of
from
change. That's
chump,
right.
chump,
From
to
chump to
chunk.
chunk.
Yeah. And you can really start to make a difference and help people. And you know, I've heard people say before, we're all just an accident or an illness away from needing help ourselves. And it really is true. And unfortunately, it seems like when something happens, it kind of seems like it comes
Comes in threes.
Yeah. So if the transmission went out, well, then the
Dishwasher goes out.
yeah, and then your heating cooling system
And the
starts
limbs
giving
fall
you.
through the roof.
Yeah, it's just
Let's hope it doesn't happen.
let's hope not. But sometimes it seems like when you're down, you feel like you're getting kicked a little bit, and that's what Roundup. You know, we want to be there to be able to help, especially families who maybe don't qualify for other types of assistance because they do fine month to month. You know, they're working, they're able to pay their bills. And then all of a sudden these things happen and they just need some help to not end up
Well, not have to
way behind.
and not do a payday loan or something crazy like
oh
that.
my, yeah.
Yeah. And people do.
They do because
And
they
then
feel
they're
like they're backed
stuck.
up against a wall. So Roundup has really been there to help some families out of a bind. We've been able to help with mortgage and rent payments. Those are a real big thing. Of course, when you're looking at your monthly expenses, your rent or your mortgage payment is pretty high up there on priority.
Pretty important to have.
Pretty
too.
important to have. So we've been able to help keep people in their homes. And if you can get those paid on time, then you don't have penalties or late payments, which, you know, then that piles up even more. So we're able to help with things like that. But we've been able to help with vehicle repair bills and furnace repair bills and materials to build handicap ramps. You know, we've had a
Even
family
prescriptions.
yeah. There's a lot of needs. And one thing that we don't help with, and a lot of times when you first say this, people kind of look at you like you're crazy. We don't help with electric bills. And they're like, but you're the electric company. Why wouldn't you do that? Transparency mainly. And we don't want to say, hey, participate in Operation Roundup, round your bill up to next to your dollar. We're going to help people. We don't want to keep the money. We didn't set up the foundation so that Intercounty can make sure that our bills get paid. And the truth be told, there's a lot of other assistance organizations in our service area that help with utilities. You know, utility assistance is something that's fairly common, but if you need help with a vehicle repair bill, it's a little bit harder to find an organization that would help pay to get your transmission fixed so you can get back and forth to work. So we want to fill those gaps. We want to be transparent. 100% of the money that comes in, that goes back out into the community. None of that is kept for any type of administrative fee or anything. So
Right.
What you said to start with is that we would not have a program if it wasn't for the people participating, and that is absolutely correct.
And if you're not participating, it's not hard to do.
It's not. There's a number of ways that you can sign up. If you still get a paper bill, there's a little box that you can check that says something to the effect of sign me up for
Right in the
Roundup.
front.
Yep, right in the front. You can check that. We'll make sure the next month that you get on there. If you call or come by, you can let us know. If you have Smart Hub, you can send us a message on there. I'm not sure. You may be able to even sign up directly on there, but I know you can contact us on there and say, "Hey, sign me up for
Yeah.
Roundup."
I think you can when
I
you
think-
pay your bill. I think you can.
I
If you
think
pay
you-
your bill online, I think you can at that
If
point.
you're not already
if you're not on it.
Yeah, I think so too. But even if you can't, or if you can't figure out how to do it, just send us a message on there, and we'll get you signed up, or give us a call.
Sure.
Call us over the phone. We'll pull up
Do you
your
have that
account.
number?
I do, yeah. So toll free, it's 866-621-3679.
Yeah.
And we'll get your account pulled up. We'll make sure we got the right one, and we'll get it signed up. And
And the best part is tax deductible.
It
All
is.
that money you're giving,
which is not a whole lot.
like $6, maybe,
Yeah, I
maybe
think
9,
one
maybe 3.
year before mine was like 7 something, and then this last year it was 5 something, which averages out to 6. So, you're looking at some change, handful of change each month. It could be as little as a penny. It could be as much as $1.
If you're on,
If you're on
Levelized
levelized
billing,
billing, which is where we set you at a level amount, we set you at a flat amount. If you want to participate and you're on levelized, it is a full $1.
very good.
So-
And again, Roundup is such a great program. And, I know people have heard programs where there is assistance given. I think the best one that I know of is like Ameren in St. Louis. You can add $1 to your bill in the winter, and that goes to help heat shelters for homeless. So,
Oh.
you can do that. You can also do that with Spire Gas. I know this is again all out of St. Louis. You can add $1. They have a little check mark there. Add $1 to help, heat or keep electric on for the in the homeless shelters. And nothing wrong with that if you want to do it. More than powerful. But the co-op is a little bit different. They don't have homeless shelters.
Right.
They don't have those things that they are basically responsible for. And that's what one of the things like a private company might do. And they use that, I hate to say this is a tax write-off, but there definitely it is. But with the new tax laws, sometimes I wonder, Heather, if some of these things are going to
Some of them
continue
might change, yeah.
because are limited now. Some of the things are limited, or you're not even getting capital gains taxes anymore. So how's that all going to play out with donations and charitable contributions?
Right.
I don't think anybody really knows.
Yeah.
We will see, right?
Right.
We will see. We will see. All right. Well, anyway, again, co-op month and the kind of roundup, they kind of go hand in hand anymore. But one of the things that I really wanted to also talk about, and we haven't probably talked about this in a little while, is the number of different ways that you can make sure that your bill is paid.
Yeah.
Obviously, cash and check always work at Intercounty's offices.
Right. And most cards, I say most cards. For a long time, we didn't take Discover cards, and I probably should not say one way or the other if we do. But that one's has always been a little bit trickier.
Okay.
But yeah, you can make payments in person in the office. Our 2 outer offices, Rolla and Mountain Grove, they have drive-up windows that you can actually. You don't even have to get out of your vehicle. Now, the Licking office, we have a drive-up drop box. So if you've got a check and you want to just drop it off, that's fine. But if you needed to come in and pay with a card or get change back, if you had cash, then you would need to come in.
Easy peasy. But Intercounty has offered other ways to pay for your electric. One is prepay.
Yes. So prepay is more like a billing option, because you can still with prepay make your payments
Sure.
multiple ways. You can still pay in person or online or over the phone. All the same payment methods are available with prepay. But prepay is a different billing option. It's different than standard billing because you don't use electricity all month. And then standard billing, you use electricity, we collect a reading, we figure out what you used during that 31-day period, and then we send you a bill and say, hey, this is how much you used, this is how much you owe.
After the fact.
After the fact. With prepay, it's kind of like putting gas in your vehicle. You got to make sure there's some there before you go out and start your rig and drive off, and you've got your gas gauge. You know how much is there. You know when you need to stop and put more in. prepays like that, you've got to make sure you've got money in your tank so that when you flip the switch, your lights come on in your home, and you keep an eye on that with our Smart Hub app. You can also call in that pay by phone line. If for some reason they don't have access to a smartphone, or they don't have the
Or there's
Smart
no
Hub app,
service.
or there's no service, you can always call that pay by phone line and just do a balance inquiry. There's a button for that, and it'll tell them, you have however much left.
$3.08.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're essentially prepaying. I mean, it is exactly what it sounds like. You are paying in advance, but it's a really nice option, especially for people who are moving to the area and setting up an account for the first time, because there's no deposit.
That's the key to that
Right. And a deposit is in case you leave with owing a bill. Well, with prepay, you can't leave owing a bill. So there's no need for a deposit. And that's a really good option for a lot of our members. And we have a lot that.
For young couples starting out, people moving to the area, maybe it's your first electric bill and you're moving into a new place where you got to put first and last down deposits there, and then you may have a deposit
It adds up.
for something else and a deposit here. Next thing you know, it's $10,000 later, and you're like, I don't have $10,000. So this is a great option for those in that situation.
Yep.
So that's a fantastic way to do it. You also can have automatic withdrawal from your bank or savings or bank account.
Yes,
Your checking account.
and that's something I wanted to talk about today.
I read your mind.
Yeah, well, I'll kind of segue into
Right.
to why we were going to talk about it. But bank draft is becoming more and more popular, and I'm surprised that it's taken this long for it to become as used as it is. But bank draft it's great. We get your bank account. You provide your bank account information to us. There's a form that you've got to fill out, or your debit or credit card information. I will say, if you have it drafted from, like if you have it charged to your debit card or credit card, make sure when that expiration date changes and you get a new card, you got to reach out and let us know, because we only know what you tell us and when it expires.
Or something else we'll be talking about later will be text alerts, and if you sign up for that, that would let you know too.
It would let you know. Yeah, absolutely. But you don't have to worry about, did I pay my bill? Did I not pay my bill? I need to make sure I swing by the office or drop it in the mail or whatever you might be doing. Bank draft kind of takes, you don't have
worry
to
out?
think about it. Yeah. And if you pair it with levelized billing.
Oh my gosh, you're getting wild.
I know, right? You don't have, there's not a whole lot of thought even required for that, because it's going to draft automatically. It's going to get paid, and you know exactly how much it is because you're on levelized. So hey, every month on the 8th,
Comes out.
$135 comes out, or
Right.
whatever it is.
And if it's people on Social Security, to get their payment in from the government every month, usually around for my case, it's around the 16th. So bang, 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 it just shows up.
Right.
And in this case, bang, 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 it's going to be leaving, but in a lot less amount than hopefully a lot less
Hopefully,
amount
yeah.
than my Social Security.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be good if it was a mistake. But it is easy, and it is, especially to simplify things. And I would say this, and I don't mean this in any way, negative way, shape, or form, but if you're starting to get a little bit forgetful, and you're not sure if you've paid the bill, and you've done that a couple times, I would get on levelized billing, just as Heather mentioned, and then have a bank draft. And that way, every month, you don't have to worry about this.
Right. And, we've talked about scam calls a lot over this past year. And if you get a call.
With good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. With good reason. Because we still, this last month, had a member call and say, hey, I think I just got a scam call. And they tell you the situation. You're like, yep, you did the right thing. You hung up. You called us back. But if you're on bank draft and it's getting drafted automatically, if someone calls and tries to scam you, and they're good at what they do, but it's working sometimes, that's why they keep doing it. If they're trying to tell you, oh, you didn't sign your check, or we didn't get your payment, or your payment didn't, whatever they're telling you, you don't have to be like, oh, did I mail that check, or did I stop by, or is that still out in the car? You don't have to worry about it, because nope, Intercounty drafts it automatically. get me.
That's also good. That's
Yeah.
a very good thing.
Yep.
Okay, and we also mentioned pay by credit card, and you can pay by credit card, and you can set that up on a
Reoccurring.
reoccurring payment. Or if you're not quite sure how you want to pay your bill, or maybe you have a number of different credit cards that you rotate.
Yeah,
Some people do that. You can make a one-time payment
you can. Yep.
with a credit card.
So a lot of our members that pay online, they have a Smart Hub account. So
That's a wise thing.
It is a
Those
smart
people are
thing.
wise.
They are. We have really smart members. So you can either download the app on your smartphone or tablet or whatever device you're using, or you can just log on to the desktop version on a computer. There's a button on our website that says Access Account, and you click there and you log in with your credentials. If it's the first time you're logging in, you're going to have to set up an account.
Right.
So a couple extra steps for the first time. But once you set up your account, you can go in. Lots of things you can do in there, but absolutely you can make a payment and view payment history. But if you don't want to mess with creating an account for whatever reason, there is another button on our website that says
one-time payment.
Pay Now. And
I thought it said one-time payment.
does it say? I thought it said Pay Now.
I thought it said one-time payment. It
I
makes
don't
no
know.
difference.
Anyway.
But anyway, you can pay that
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah, and you're going to need to know your account number and I think maybe the last name on the account that's registered to the account. But you don't have to, you have no login credentials, nothing is getting saved. You don't have access to things like previous payment history or stuff like that.
Right, electric usage.
Yeah, but you
everything.
can log in, you can make a payment. And we actually see a lot of members, a lot of times that are using this as if it's maybe a parent making a payment on a child's account or vice versa, or someone that's helping a friend out and they're making a payment. They can do that really easily and not have access to all of the information on their account.
Right. So if you did that through Smart Hub, obviously you could save that credit card and then use it again and again and again.
Right.
Or you could set up that reoccurring payment.
Yes.
So yes, you have that option with a credit card or debit card.
Or debit card. Yep.
You can do that, and that makes it that easy. Just by going to Smart Hub or just by logging in to intercounty, IECA.coop.
That's right.
And again, really easy.
Yeah.
There's only 8 letters. IECA dot. Oh, there's a dot.
Yeah. That's not a letter, though.
COOP. Well, it's not. It's a character, right?
Yeah, that's
Call that
right.
a character?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got 8 letters in a character. And we've got 2 characters here right now.
We do.
Right now. All right. So that makes that easy. But also with the credit card payment, if for whatever reason you have waited till the nth minute of the day it's due, and you still have time in that day, you can actually make a credit card payment via phone.
You can. Yep. Credit, debit card, or straight from your bank account. If you have your checking account number and your routing number, you can pay that way too. But we have a pay by phone line. It is a nice option if you are calling outside of normal business hours. In the past, I say in the past, years and years ago, when you made a payment over the phone, it was with a live person. It was
Right.
with one of the intercounty employees, and we took your payment information over the phone. We gave you a confirmation number. We ran it right then when you're on the phone. There were some compliance laws that changed, and intercounty's phone lines are now recorded. And so we don't take that payment information over the phone. We have an automated line.
Right.
But the positive to that is that automated payment line is 24/7. So
Anytime.
like Stan said, if you've waited till the very last minute, it doesn't matter if our office is closed because that automated line is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Doesn't matter if it's a night or weekend or holiday or what it might be. You can call. You're going to have to enter some information,
Sure.
Over the phone because it is automated. But you can make your payment, get a confirmation, and that is applied in real time to your account.
And it beats trying to mail it out the day it's due because it's not going to reach it in time.
Yeah. So
And you'll have a late fee.
that's the thing that went earlier when you talked about bank draft. I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to go there today. One of the things that we're seeing, and I'll start by saying that Intercounty kind of unique in how we process mail payments. We have always processed your payment based on the postmark date on the outside of your envelope. So when mail comes in, it's sorted in the office based on postmark date. As long as it's, say you're on cycle 1 and it's due the 15th. If it's postmarked the 15th, but we don't get it till the 18th, that's processed as penalty free.
Right.
And maybe there are other organizations that do that way, but I've always thought that was pretty unique to Intercounty to be mindful of that postmark stamp when it comes to applying penalty or not.
Government does that as long as you have it stamped with a stamp at the post office.
Yeah. So,
Because you never know when it goes through the processing if it's clicked over the day.
well, and the problem
happens.
that we have had, especially these last couple months, members have been getting a late notice or a disconnect notice even because they've mailed their payment. And a lot of times what's happening, these are members who walk the stamped, I say stamped, they put their payment and the check and the payment stub in that return envelope. They put a stamp on it. They walk it down to their mailbox and lift the flag. In the past, not a problem. What we're seeing now is that that's getting picked up. It's not getting stamped at the local post office. It's
So it
being
may
sent
go to
directly
Springfield.
to Kansas City or Springfield. And you may have put it in your mailbox on the 13th or 14th, but then that postmark date doesn't show up until 17th or 18th. Then it doesn't get to us until 2021.
Right. And that's why I meant when I said stamped at your local post office. They do have a stamp right there that you can put your stamp on there, and they'll put the stamp over it when it was received
Right.
that day.
But if you're just dropping it in your mailbox, or if you're driving past the post office and dropping it in their box,
drop
it's
box, yeah.
it's not going to get stamped like it would if you took it in and requested that they hand stamp it. But please be mindful if you mail in your payment. That's what we go by. So if you are doing it that way, and you don't want to change, or maybe consider putting it in the mailbox a couple days earlier. That's all I'm saying.
Or taking it to the post office and have it hand stamped.
Or call and pay over the phone, or
Oh, yeah,
set
right.
up
I mean,
Smart Hub or Bank
if you
Draft.
are just dead set on mailing it in,
Yeah.
that might be the best way you can do it to avoid having that possibility kick
Right.
up.
Because there's no way for us to know that you put it in your mailbox 5 days before.
As
it
far
was
as Intercounty
postmarked.
knows, it went. You dropped it off in Springfield.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
far.
realistically, we know you didn't drop it off in Springfield.
But you could've.
But we don't have anything to show when you actually did
Yeah.
drop it in the mail.
So
And
that-
what we go by is that postmark date. So please just be aware of that. If you mail your payments in, consider maybe making some changes, even if it's just dropping it in your mailbox a couple days earlier, or like Stan said, taking it into the post office and having them stamp it.
Does happen.
It does.
Postal service is not what it used to be.
Yeah, there's not local mail.
Don't know. There's none. It just
Yeah.
all goes through the centers now.
Yeah.
Even though they have local post offices, which you can still go to, and by the way, still get that stamp. They used to be really a big thing for April 15th, if you remember. Down, I remember being in the city on tax day. They'd have people outside the post office with bags, and people would drop off their tax returns in those bags. As long as they got in those bags by midnight, they would stamp it April 15th.
That's pretty amazing.
But people would just drive by. And that was the first drive-by drop-off I ever saw in my life. Was people just throwing their tax returns in these
Bins.
bins in an envelope, and
Huh.
then they would get stamped April 15th.
Yeah.
So they weren't late.
Yeah.
All hand stamped. So again, that option is still possible. It's the same with your county taxes on your personal property and also your real estate. You can go to the collector's office, you get the receipt right then. But if you're mailing it, and you're going to mail it through the post office, take it to the post office. Get it hand stamped.
Yeah. Yep.
It only takes a minute. As long as you got the stamp on there, just say, I need this hand stamp for today.
Yeah.
And they take this big old rubber stamp and they'll pop, pop, and you're done.
Yeah, that's it.
Doesn't cost you anything extra.
But if you don't want to mess with that at all, do something
Well, you
like
can
we
always-
talked about earlier and
Sure.
get set up on Bank Draft or recurring credit card or your Smart Hub account, or Try the pay by phone line.
So I had
Swing
this-
by and see us at
right.
one of the offices.
So
Lots
I
of
had
options.
this question, and I almost feel stupid asking it, but somebody asked me, "Are you guys going to take crypto?"
I do not see that as being an option in the future.
I
Yeah.
thought, how would you do that? I mean, because crypto changes instantly. I
Yeah.
mean, the value of it all the time.
All the time.
So I thought, okay. I said, I don't know why you guys would, but because this is why we're here.
Yeah, we answer those questions.
If somebody says, gosh, I wonder if they're going to take crypto, I mean, this would be a very small amount of crypto you'd be paying. I think what Bitcoin's $125,000 right
my.
now. So anyway, but it would be such a minute amount of crypto. And that would, to me, I think would just cause an accounting nightmare over there. at
Yeah.
your
So
accountant.
if our accountant was listening right now, she would be like,
Don't even bring it up.
yeah.
But that's why we're here.
Yeah.
To
no,
bring those
those
up.
are
Because
those are good
somebody
questions.
asked. And it was, I thought, well, logistically, in a small rural area, I
Yeah.
can't see it,
Yeah.
but I'll ask.
Yeah. Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about that ever-changing value.
Right.
It's hard to nail it down.
Yeah.
So no, I don't foresee that being an option.
Very good. All right. Well, there we go. Payment
Yeah.
methods, roundup, co-op month, text alerts. So we just kind of segued into that
Yeah.
by telling you that if your credit card is getting outdated, you will receive a text alert from Intercounty saying, hey, dummy, your credit card's about to expire. And if you want to continue to have this reoccurring payment, you have to update your credit card information.
Right.
Now, of course, that also looks like a scam in some cases. And I know people will say, well, wait a minute, you don't ever ask for our credit card information. They're not asking you on that text
Right.
to provide credit card information.
No, we don't. We don't want you to text it back to us. We want you to call the office and say,
Or go to Smart Hub.
or go to Smart Hub or whatever. But it's a notification, and you can sign up for any number
You have a
of
list.
types. Yeah, there's a whole lot.
There's a bunch.
There's different categories when you go in, when you go to notifications, and you can sign up to receive text or email or both. Some people are more email, some more text. Some people are like, no, if my bill's late, send me both because I don't want to miss that notification. But I do want to point out that it's important if you're signing up for these alerts, whether it's email or text, please make sure your contact information is up to date. Maybe you had an old email address on file with us
Right.
or phone number. So as good as it is to sign up for these, it is not useful at all if we don't have your current information. So go into that contact methods, make sure we have up-to-date phone number and email, and then you can sign up for those. There's a little toggle button. You just toggle it from on to off. And the great thing is you're not locked in. So if you wanted to sign up for one and then you thought, I don't need this, I want to turn
No,
it
you
off,
can
and now I'm
always go change
stuck getting it, you can go in and change it. You can change it at any time. And you can add them at any time.
Sure.
But there's a lot that you can sign up for that hopefully you won't ever get. I've signed
Late
up.
notices.
I've signed up for the late notice. If my bill is late, absolutely, I want a text. I need to know.
You would think when you know when your bill would be late.
Right? Yeah. So that's when I'm like, I hope I never get that. But if for if for some reason my bill was late, yes, I do want to be notified. Same with the disconnect notice. So that text you wouldn't get, obviously, unless you had already got the late notice text. But it provides you more information. Outage texts are new within the last just few months. Our director of engineering worked really hard on getting that set up. And so now if you have a power outage at your location and you have Smart Hub and you've signed up for these text alerts, we're going to shoot you a text that says, hey, we know the power's out at your location. And we had members asking for this for what seems like years.
Wow, yeah.
We have, being in a rural area, we have people who own homes, cabins here that don't live in them full time. and they don't know if their power's out
Sure.
or if it was out. And that's a way for them to get that notification. Hey, your power's out. It's going to be time stamped. But then I will say, if you're signing up for that one, it only makes sense to sign up for the one that's listed below it
So
that
power's
says
back
power
on.
restored. And then you'll get a text that says, hey, we've restored your power at this location. So then you know, oh, my power was off for 10 minutes today, or hey, it's still off, or
Sure. And it's very important to, if you have the opportunity to sign up for those, especially if you're a snow bunny. If
Yeah.
you're down in Florida during the winter and your power's off,
you might need somebody to go
somebody
check
better
on
go
things.
check that house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if it's super cold. So definitely want to make sure. So text alerts or email alerts, very, very good ways of just keeping up to date on your account. And I know a lot of people get these for every bank account, every checking account they have, and you just hear phones go rattle, 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 rattle with all these alerts. But that is a good text. That is a good email to get, because then it is telling you that something's either amiss, something's wrong, you haven't got your payment, or something else
Right.
with your account
Yeah.
might be off.
And it could be maybe you signed up just to get another one that I get is when my bill's ready. I don't
I
get
do too.
I
I
don't
got
get
that
a paper bill in the mail anymore. I just do e-bill.
I get a paper bill and I still
Do
get
you?
that.
Yeah, and you
Everybody
can.
signed up, yeah.
Yeah, you can. But I get a text that says, "Hey, your bill for account number such and such is ready," and then I know that, of course, working where I work, I know when my my bill's ready. But not everybody has that. So getting that text, that's not a bad text.
No.
You just get it says, "Oh, my
Just
bill's
that-
ready."
And that way, if you want to pay it online because you know
Mm-hmm.
you're leaving on vacation, it's going to get there before the mail, the paper one gets there. So
Right.
you have an opportunity to go pay that and then not have that come in the mail while you're gone,
Yeah.
and then you forget.
And one of the options to sign up for is, I believe it says cooperative communication, maybe. It's something, communication is the word in there. But that's an important one to sign up for, because that's the miscellaneous stuff. If we're going to be doing right of way
Oh, yeah,
work
okay.
in your area, or if we're going to be spraying the right of way, or I'm trying to think of another example. Maybe we're going to have some work going on in your area. All those things that don't fit under a, hey, your bill's ready, or your bill's late, or your credit card number is about to expire. If it's not one of those things, it fits in this co-op communication. And
That's a
that
good idea.
if you have signed up to get those texts or those emails, it might be that we're doing that work in your area. Or maybe, hey, we didn't do this, but it just popped in my head. Maybe we should have said, hey, we're going to be serving lunch in your area.
It's a good communication there. Free lunch.
Free lunch.
Don't forget the free lunch.
in your area. So it can be used for a number of things. We're not going to misuse this. We're not going to start sending, hey, did you know if you change your filters that you can save energy and reduce wear and tear on your heating and cooling system? We're not going to use it to send out just stuff all the time. It's gonna-
Basically, just inter-county communication that's necessary.
right. Stuff that you probably want to know.
Yeah, very good, very good. Always a good thing. Well, it is October, and it is Halloween.
Yep.
Couple things with Halloween. One is I've already seen a lot of inflatables.
We have too, yeah.
We kind of talked a little bit about this last time. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. I saw somebody with like 19 of these things on their yard.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot. And it was pretty amazing. They had spider webs. I mean, they had a lot more than just inflatables. It was, they must really love Halloween, okay? Which is great. I think it's fantastic. But do remember, if you are going to have that kind of decorative decor, there's a cost to it. And I know the LED lights are not a big deal anymore.
Right.
So that's not going to jack your bill up. But those little air compressors that you have to have to
For the
blow
inflatable ones,
the inflatables
they have to run the
the whole
time.
time. So if you've got 10 or 12 inflatables, those little air compressors, unless you have them on an automatic go on at dusk and go off at 10 or something of that nature,
Yeah.
those can run up your bill quite extensively if you start using them, say, October 1st, and you're going to use them till October 31st. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to double your bill, but you're going to notice it just like you would a space heater.
Right. And you can call us, and those, especially on the box, it's going to give you the wattage that's on the box. And we can walk you through the steps on how to calculate what that would use. You could probably Google it even at this point, just how much will this use if I run it 10 hours a day or whatever. But we can do the math for you. We can help you figure it out. And then you can kind of get a ballpark. Oh, I have 10 of these and I'm running them the 10 hours,
4
a
hours
day,
or
or whatever it is. That way you're prepared. And when you get your bill, you're like, okay, I know I'm going to have $100 worth of decoration usage.
Right.
And
that's just for Halloween now. So you're using that in October. You're not going to see that bill till December.
If you're using it in October, you'll get it in November.
Well, I mean, but you're not going to have to pay it usually until December, right at the time you're buying all those Christmas gifts.
Yeah. The point is, anytime you have something extra plugged in, it's going to use extra. That adds to your usage. That makes your bill higher. So if you're plugging stuff in that you don't normally plug in, you can expect to see more on your bill. And if you want to kind of narrow in on how much more if I plug all of these in, and maybe that's fine. But maybe you're like, ooh, instead of running them that many, maybe I should cut that in half. Not run them all the time.
Well, very good. So that's just Halloween. Now, I know some people have not only Halloween, but Thanksgiving and then Christmas.
Yeah, then the inflatable turkeys
and then they do something for Valentine's Day. So if you are one of those that loves to do that, and my nephew is, I don't think he cares what it costs.
Yeah.
He just likes Christmas. Just Christmas for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he does Halloween, but I know he doesn't do much for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But for Christmas,
he's all out.
He's a Griswolds, okay?
Yeah. One of these days I'm going to have to see a picture or video or something.
Yeah, he puts it on Snapchat, so I'll get you a copy of that so you can see it. And he puts music to it, so he's crazy. But that's my nephew. Gotta love him. Anyway, nonetheless, that's not the only way, though, that you have Halloween affect your bill, because there's vampires out there. They suck you electric that you don't even know.
Yeah, those phantom loads.
Phantom loads. Anyway, we've talked about it in the past. We're going to talk about it a little bit again. Obviously, because there's more and more and more phantom loads. And people, I don't think, understand, Heather, how many different things are out there. You know, your phone charger, that's a phantom load. If you leave it plugged in,
there's a little
whether there's
charge.
A phone on it or not, it's got a little transformer in there.
And it's very, very small amount. If all you had plugged in phantom load wise was a phone charger, you're not going to notice that you've unplugged it. But if you've got one in each room and you have the DVR and you have
power strips,
the power strips and the coffee pot and the
microwave
the
oven,
Xbox
little light
and
there.
PlayStation, all of these things that are running in the background, even when you're not using them, that does start to add up. And it can make a difference on your bill. And it absolutely makes a difference, when we start to talk about inter-counties load and then our statewide load. It does add up. It really does.
Yeah, I noticed in the kilowatt usage for August, I believe it might have been July. I can't remember what it was in this month's rural Missouri. But really, it's about the first time I remember the kilowatt usage being higher in quite some time. But because of the temperatures, it was higher.
Yeah.
So people say, well, why should it be higher? Shouldn't be higher. I said, well, 89 was our average temperature during that month, and 71 at night was our average temperature. Your air conditioner is going to work a lot harder than if it was 85 and 62 at night. So, the kilowatt usage is going to be higher. So, again, take a look at those little stats there. They're pretty convincing as to show you, like, this year in August was this, last year in August it was this.
And
Here's
here's
the temperatures. Here's
temperature.
the reason
Yeah.
why. Number of meters, etc., etc. And it does tell you just a real quick snapshot. It's not going to give you a lot of great detail, but it's going to give you a little snapshot as to how and why your bill may have been higher that month. So, but when we get back to the phantom powers, I want to just remind people, a lot of people are going to electric outdoor equipment. They have a shed, and they have their little electric out there in their shed, and they have an electric lawnmower. They have an electric weed eater. They have an electric hedge trimmer. They have electric blowers. I'm going to tell you right now, 95% of people out there forget that they've got that charge plugged in the whole year with no batteries in it, or if they did leave a battery in it, you're really overcharging that battery, and really,
Or the battery's left on the charger.
yeah, and the battery is not going to be very good the next year, not going to last long. Unplug that sucker. You don't need that. Maybe the blower for some snow if it's a really cold day, you want to blow that snow off. But besides that, you're just wasting electricity, and that's all winter long.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have a couple of chargers out there, and I've seen these chargers use more than you think, because they're what they call accelerated chargers.
Oh, the fast charge.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fast chargers use a lot of electricity.
They do.
Because you want your battery. You're in the middle of cutting your grass, battery starts to go kaputski. You don't want to have to go charge that thing for 3 hours just to go finish your grass. You want it 15 minutes to a half hour.
Right.
Well, you pay for that with that accelerated or fast charger that they sell along with your charger for your battery. So keep in mind, if you leave that on all winter long, and you already got 3 little lights that say your battery is charged, pull it out of the wall.
Unplug it.
Unplug it.
Yeah.
Pull it out of the wall socket. Put the batteries right here. Put the charger right next to them. And then next spring, when things start to green back up, of course they're still green now. I shouldn't say green back up. But when they do green back up, then plug it back in, get everything charged, and then you'll be ready to go. No sense leaving that all winter long, because it will run.
Right, it's got
it
that-
will run up
that trickle
$20 to
charge.
$30 additional in charges on your battery, because it's a fast charger. So it's accelerated, and it uses so much more electricity kilowatts. It's crazy.
But there's a lot of things in your home too. I was surprised when we first started kind of learning about phantom loads, gaming systems. They
Oh,
are a
gosh.
huge energy hog. They run updates in the background, and teenagers do not have any concept, most of them, about usage of something like that and how that equates to increase in electric bill. It's not something they're thinking about. They want to make sure their games are
Yeah,
getting
they're
updated,
updated all the time.
and they're ready to go when they get home from school. They can turn it on, and everything's right there. They don't have to wait for stuff to load. But those pull
Bunch.
a bunch. They do. Same with your DVR or TVs. A lot of TVs are the instant on. Well, they've got to be running a little bit,
Right.
staying ready, so whenever you turn them on, they come right on instead of
Right.
warming up and coming on
Then
slowly.
you have a little light down there. You'll just see a little light in the corner, or maybe even in the back. It just, that light's on for a reason. It tells you it's got electricity.
Yep. And if you've got a home computer, a lot of times those get left on, and just goes to that screensaver mode. It goes to sleep, but it's not off. And how long does it sit there asleep
Sure.
before you use it again? So you had mentioned surge strips. Those are a great option for places in your home where you have several things. You can just turn that surge strip off,
Right.
and then there's no phantom load because you've got the power cut to it.
And you'd be surprised. A lot of people have 3, 4, 5 TVs in their home for
Yep.
maybe every bedroom, family room, and maybe in the vestibule. Who knows wherever they put TVs anymore? They seem to be everywhere. But the TVs themselves have used less and less electricity. Not tube TVs anymore, which used to use a lot.
Yeah.
But they're constantly on. The old tube
Right.
TVs, when you shut it off,
Is off.
you shut it off, because
Yeah.
those tubes would go for that nice orangey glow, and you just see it fade away.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool at the time. But you don't have that anymore. But the phantom loads are popping up every single place you use. Phone chargers, we mentioned that. And now you have these phone chargers. It's kind of crazy, but I want to throw this out there because you see it now on these sofas that have the chargers in the arms.
In the armrest.
Okay, that's on all the time.
Yeah.
Whether you're charging your phone or you're not charging your phone.
Yeah.
Those
And
are-
obviously it's using more when you charge your phone than when it's just sitting there. But
It's
Stan's
still
point
on.
is there's a lot of things left plugged in that are on in our homes that have that little bit of trickle charge or that phantom
Right.
load.
So if you want to start taking a look at that, there is you pointed out to me before, and I did go on there, and I think it is on the Smart Hub. I think you can go find it off Smart Hub.
It's a Members First
Yeah,
website.
right.
And there's a link to it on our website too, I'm pretty sure. But if you search for Members First
You can find
phantom
out.
load calculator, it's kind of eye-opening.
It is.
You plug in like, oh yeah, I have one of these, or I have two of these, and then you look at the total because it's calculating that for you based on the average
Sure,
rate.
sure.
I think it was based on 10 cents a kilowatt hour, which was average for the state. That's a little bit more than what intercounties actually is, but it gives you a general idea.
Sure. But there's things in there that I didn't even think about, like electric razor chargers. People have them plugged in, and
Yeah,
they charge
they
their
leave
razor,
their-
and they leave it there all night.
Yeah, beard trimmers plugged
Beard
in
trimmers,
or whatever. Mm-hmm.
I won't say curling irons and so much of that. Usually, you don't leave those on all night long because they're getting hot.
They get hot, yeah.
That's the idea. But a lot of those things, you just don't pay much attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you have a light on, I know we have a light that's in our where the medicine cabinet used to be, in a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the mirror, it has to stay on. There's a very little light, I mean super little bit of electric that's used in that sucker. But for you to touch it and go on right away, it has to be
Ready.
on all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So again, keep that in mind. And if you have night lights and things of that nature that you use, this would help you figure that out, because if you don't shut it off, it's a phantom. So kind of keep in mind, there are ways to reduce your bill. Now, you're not going to save $100 off your bill, but you might save $3 to $4.
Right. And over the course of a year,
And, you're looking at
It's a little bit of
$50 or $60 a year.
yeah.
What can you do with $50 or $60 a year? That's not a free lunch, but you can definitely get. It's still money
Yeah.
that would be in your pocket.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And maybe even more, depending upon how many of those little vampires you have.
Yeah, and I'd say if you're a home that's got a lot of TVs, and especially if you've got satellite services and DVRs and gaming consoles, it can be
Yeah,
significant.
absolutely. And then people who have outdoor lights that come on by a photocell. You guys are also, that photocell's on all the time because it's looking for sunlight.
Right.
And when you do have that come on, then those lights that come on, make sure they do go off if you have a photocell. Because if
Otherwise,
they
they're
don't,
just on.
you're just burning electricity for no reason. So, again, there's so many things in houses today. Yes, we love our conveniences, but they come with a little bit of a cost.
They do. And we're not saying you can't have these things
No.
in your home and leave them on. Convenience, well, just like your nephew.
Yeah.
He wants the lights. He knows there's a cost with it. He budgets for that and plans
Yeah,
for it,
that's right.
and he's okay with that. But if you're looking for ways to cut back and shave on your usage, these are some great places to start looking at.
There you go. I'm done. I'm finished.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to even add.
I just want to remind people to please check our calendar for Member Appreciation Day events. We hope to see you in Licking today if you can join us.
30th in Salem.
Yeah, 30th in Salem. Like I said, we'll be in Summersville and St. James, also Roby, and then Salem very last. But yeah, we've got several more spots to go. We'd love to see at least one of them. Come have lunch in our drawing, visit with us. It's a great time to talk about those things that you've got in the back of your head that you're like, oh, one of these days I'm going to ask about this, or
Well,
I'm going to share
there you
this
go.
idea. When we're out and about at fairs or these Member Appreciation Day events,
Sure.
those are perfect opportunities to say, hey, I've been
Hey.
thinking, or I wonder, or why do you do this way?
Now that you're here,
Yeah, we want to hear those things. We want to answer those questions. You guys think you'll ever take crypto? Ask us. We want to be able to have that conversation. So
I never thought that I would ever think that in the rural area, that would come up, but sooner or later it will.
yeah, absolutely.
So you may as well think about it like the electric charging stations and things of that nature. Where are we going to put them all? How are you going to do it? How's it going to be built? How's that going to help people? Well, yeah, they've made better batteries that can still get you maybe 300 miles. 300 miles isn't very far if you're driving across the country and you have to stop and get charged. They're getting better chargers out there, and they're getting them faster. But then when you pay for that,
right,
sometimes that payment is actually more than your gasoline. So, I'm not telling people not to go get an electric car.
Just do your research.
But just do your research anymore, because sometimes finding those electric chargers out there in the middle of nowhere, as you're going across Kansas, toward Colorado, you may not make it.
We started the program out talking about co-ops and the rural areas and why co-ops were created in the first place. It's because these rural areas are not as profitable for those bigger companies. So it makes sense that our rural areas are not infiltrated with these EV chargers, because that's not where their consumer base is. They're going to have those more in the cities and stuff. So just do your research before you make a purchase. And
you may find them at a few gas stations where there's a couple. Most of them are still geared toward Tesla, though there have been other ones now included. So again, I'm not telling you that they're always available at every gas station, because they're not.
Yeah.
Don't have electric charging stations everywhere. Motels now are starting to get better about it.
Yeah, especially the newer ones being built. They're just making sure that's part of their build out. But
But anyway, keep that in mind. That's all we want to do, is just kind of keep you on top of the game.
Yep.
Next month will be Thanksgiving.
I know, that's crazy.
You dreading it?
No, I said it's crazy that
Well,
we're talking
crazy
about November.
I know you used to dread it because you had so much food to eat.
I don't know if it's a dread.
Well,
I'm not opposed to eating all the. You have to be strategic when you have a lot of places to go.
Yeah. I shouldn't say dread, but you dreaded how it's going to make you feel, because all of us tend to eat in excess a little bit, and then you feel, ugh.
Yeah. What a blessing, though, to have that many places to go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But
people care about you and then invite you over. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Heather, again, thank you for coming in, making the trip over.
Thank
we
you.
do appreciate it. Heather's here every second Tuesday. We call it Inter-County Tuesday. It's also Roundup Tuesday, when they get a chance to review those Roundup applications. One real quick thing we did not mention today about Roundup is, if you are wanting to apply for Roundup, you must do so by the end of the previous month. So if you would like to apply now, you just have to have it in by the end of October, and they will then take a look at that in November.
Right. So today, the applications that they go over will be all of the ones that they received through the end of September. Anything that they've received earlier this month will be on next month's agenda.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I'm glad you made it over here safe.
Me too.
I got a little bit concerned because, Heather's usually very prompt and way ahead of time, and she was kind of tickling the keys getting here in the very last minute. Yeah. Thank you again for coming in. Right here on KSMO Radio, again at Inter-County Tuesday, every second Tuesday of the month, with our friends from Inter-County Electric. Remember, owned and operated Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Before we go, though, we have to give phone numbers.
We do. So toll free if you want to give us a call. Our number is 866-621-3679. We'll connect you during normal business hours to whoever it is you might need to talk to. But if you're wanting to make a payment over the phone, that number's a little bit different.
Cheater,
Well, it's like I think I know it, but I don't want to say it wrong. It's 855-940-3890.
Have you ever used that number?
I have, actually.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. No, I like call it like
no.
I want to see what
I know,
what
but
is
usually
it
after you use it, you remember it better.
Yeah.
If you never used it,
True.
you're probably sitting there going 840.
We had the other one for I could give you the old one really easy.
I know they threw a knuckle curve at you.
Yeah,
that
they
time.
did.
Right after you got it printed.
Yeah, I know.
It does happen that way, Heather. Thank you.
Sometimes.
Thanks again for coming in on KSMO Radio, your hometown radio station. We invite you to keep it right here. We have coming up for you, right here in your hometown radio source, our Civic Record, and so much more on KSMO. We hope you're going to have a fantastic day today. Weather-wise, Heather, can you believe how warm it has been?
And today again.
Yeah, it really has been super crazy. No doubt about that. All righty, we're going to head off to the sunset.
All right.
You have a
We'll
great
see you
rest
next
of the
month.
day. Thank you very much. All right, keep it here.